Hello there. If you've been around the Toontown community for an extended period of time, there's a good chance you may have come across this video. Old Toontown by Barry Villanueva. Villanueva. It currently sits at over 220,000 views as of 2024. It's, simply put, a slideshow of vintage Toontown screenshots, mostly from the game's early beta stages. It's a really nostalgic and kinda mysterious video. Early Toontown screenshots just have this specific aura to them that feels off. And paired with the video's choices of music, Hamster Dance, Sweet Victory, and some Chris Brown song, it really gives off the vibe of travelling back in time to the early 2000s. Of all the images they used, there's two that both stood out to I and many others for just how peculiar they are. That would be these two images of what the community have dubbed Toon Masks. In them, we see a rabbit wearing a duck's beak and using the string from it to tie their ears down, creating a disguise of sorts. In the other picture, we have a duck wearing a pair of bunny ears. It seems to be some kind of headband. So, what is this? Was this a scrapped feature from Toontown's earliest days? At some point in development, would you have been able to dress as other Toon species? Well, no. These images are completely fabricated. While in the video with that classic 2008 YouTube compression it's a little hard to tell, upon finding the original images in their full quality, it's pretty clear these aren't real screenshots. This duck's beak is just copy-pasted onto the rabbit's face. The string and the rabbit ears on the duck image are pretty clearly drawn on. And hell, the speech bubble of "I am a bunny" is just edited in. But with that said, who made these? What's the origin of these images? Why did they make them, and where is the creator now? To answer these questions, we need to go back to where it all began. Toontown Central Forums, 2002. Now known as the MMO Central Forums, the Toontown Central Forums were the first ever Toontown fan site, appearing on the internet before the game had even officially launched. While we don't know for certain where these two images were first shared, we can make some educated guesses. For starters, both images feature tunes with GK in their names, clearly indicating that they were either made by the same person, or they were separate people who were part of some kind of clan. Thankfully we don't need to look too far, as after doing a bit of digging through some ancient 2002 forum posts, we were able to find a post by the user Randy Rabbit, the very same scene in the duck image, proving that they did at the very least lurk on the Toontown Central forums back in the day. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they ever directly posted the pictures to the Toontown Central forums themselves, although someone else did eventually post the two of them in 2006 when galleys were introduced, which I'm sure is what caused a lot of people to see those pictures for the first time, and inadvertently helped archive them. If not for users preserving these images, there's a good chance they'd be lost permanently today, due to the original source no longer being available. We can track the same user to the Ars Technica forum, also in 2002. In a thread discussing Toontown Online, there are two users named GK Chef and GK Vector. Match. Someone even asked the two what GK stood for, and the answer is actually quite wholesome.
Well, I'm sure you all have seen the GKs running around Toontown. I started them all there, and now they are all hooked, especially Vector. I don't even think he leaves his house anymore. View image, info pop, emoticons, icon, geek, gif. We're all pretty avid gamers and enjoy playing with you all. If you see us in the streets, say hi. Anyway, see y'all in Toontown. View image, info pop, emoticons, icon, cool, gif.
What does GK stand for? I've been wondering this for a while.
GK stands for Game Nights. We're a LAN party group from San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. We play everything from Counter-Strike to Age of Empires. We meet once a week on Fridays, since most of us are married, and game either together or go out on the net as a group.
These forums are kind of a goldmine of extremely early Toontown history. If it's something that interests you, I'll have it linked below if you want to check them out. It's fascinating seeing a lot of grown adults in the early 2000s wanting to check out the early beta for an upcoming Disney MMO. something I'm sure that was very novel at the time, keeping in mind, this predates World of Warcraft. All we really had at the time were games like RuneScape and EverQuest. Sadly, because of age, these forum posts are a bit broken. HTML doesn't display correctly, and worst of all, image embeds don't work, and we can only use our imagination as to what said images were. That being said, this is very likely the place where these two images were first posted. It all checks out. The two fellas from the images are here. They're discussing playing the beta. The timeline matches up perfectly. As for why the images were made, it apparently stemmed from an in-joke on these early forums. Something about Cogs eating Rabbitoon's ears? Oh, okay. It's really unfortunate the images themselves weren't preserved on the site, but it's also a miracle they ended up being saved, period. These two images, especially the one of the rabbit disguised as the duck, have taken on a life of their own in the Toontown community, all these years after they were created. People for years thought they were a real piece of cut content from the game, and since have lived on through fanart and memes. I really want to see an actual Toontown server like Realms or Rewritten add the elusive rabbit disguised as a duck as a cheesy effect or something. It would fit right in perfectly. As for where the game nights are today, I haven't the slightest idea, but I hope they're still out there living their best life, still playing Counter-Strike, Age of Empires, and maybe even Toontown every Friday to this day. I want to leave a special thanks to Roger Doug and Slate Blue Rabbit, also known as Sleepy Maya, for pointing me in the right direction. I put out a tweet a while ago asking if anyone knew of the origins of these images, and their insight was a huge help. So hey, you're alright.